Hello everyone, welcome back once again. So today in this video I am going to explain you the reduced first semester syllabus for ICSE class 10 history and civics. So reduced syllabus is there, but within that the bifurcated syllabus which has been released by the board recently, students are very much confused with that syllabus. So what I have done is that from that entire reduced syllabus, I have separated the syllabus which the student has to prepare for their first semester examination, which is going to be held in the month of November. So let us look into the syllabus one by one so that your doubts will be cleared through this video. Whenever you have doubt or if you come across any other doubt, you can just ask me through the comment. Okay, so let's jump into my PC. Over to my PC. So from here, I'll be explaining you the entire syllabus for the first semester examination, which is going to be held in the month of November 2021. So no need to get confused. I have separated the syllabus for the first semester. Okay, remaining you keep it for your second semester. So it is mentioned over here, ICSE class 10 history and civics first semester syllabus. Mode of exam will be online. Okay, and it will be conducted in the month of November 2021. Now question paper will be MCQ based. Okay, MCQ based questions will be asked. So now civics 1 unit is given and history 2 units are given. So in civics, that is from unit 1, that is union legislature, which all topics we have to prepare. You can see here. Number 1, union legislature. Within union legislature, we have to study Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So within Lok Sabha, we have to study all this. You can see here. First, you have to talk about, first you have to discuss, we'll study about the term, then we'll discuss about the composition, then qualification for the membership, what are the qualifications required to become the member of Lok Sabha, then parliamentary procedure like 0 hour, question hour, okay, adjournment motion, no confidence motion, okay, all these are parliamentary procedures. Quorum, what is mean by quorum, all those comes under parliamentary procedure. Then we have to discuss a brief idea of the sessions. There are 3 sessions, okay, that we have to discuss: budget session, winter monsoon session, and the winter session. Okay, so monsoon session is going on. Then we have to discuss about quorum, very small, okay, minimum member required to start the transition of the house. Then we have a question hour, adjournment and no confidence motion you have to study. Okay, then at last speaker. How is the speaker of Lok Sabha elected? We don't have to study the function of the speaker. We only have to study the election of the speaker. How is the speaker elected? Okay, how is the speaker elected? That we have to study. That is from Lok Sabha. From within Lok Sabha, you have to study about all these things. Okay, now if you come down within the same unit, that is union legislature, we have to study again about Rajya Sabha. So within Rajya Sabha, we have to study about the composition of Rajya Sabha, qualification for the membership, election, how is the member of Rajya Sabha elected, what is the tenure of Rajya Sabha. Okay, the tenure of Rajya Sabha, you know that Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, no term, but the member has a term of 6 years. Then presiding officer, how is the presiding officer elected? So you know that vice president of our country is the ex-office chairperson of Rajya Sabha by default. Then at last we have to study about the power and functions of the union parliament. So within union parliament, that is both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, combined study we have to do. That means whenever we study about the function of Lok Sabha, it includes the function of Rajya Sabha as well. So what are the functions required? We have to study about Lok Sabha legislative function. Then we have to study about the financial function. Then other one is that control over the executive. How does parliament control over the executive? That we have to study. Okay, and regarding functions, only 2: legislative functions and financial functions. Okay, then rest all the exclusive powers of both the houses we have to study. Okay, combined. So this is from civics portion. Okay, so there is not a big deal, a very simple unit is left for your first term, so you can easily do it, and hopefully we have already done also. So in spite of all this, while you go across all these topics, if you come across any doubts, feel free to ask me any time in the interactive classes, or if the students are following my channel, those who are not the students of my school, they can ask me in the comment box. I'll definitely clear their doubts also. Now let us move to history portion. In history, 2 units we have to prepare. So when we went across the syllabus, bifurcated syllabus, let me tell you, bifurcated syllabus for history. So students got confused. Only two chapters. Only two chapters we have to prepare. So students were very much relaxed. Oh, only two chapters we have to prepare. You can see here. That is Indian national movement and the mass phase of the national movement. So don't get confused, my dear. Here, one thing you must remember, my dear, that from this you have to prepare the entire unit. Okay, and this also entire unit. Okay, so what all are included in this unit is explained over here. You can see here I have included what is required for your first term, that is the first semester. So within the Indian national movement, all these are there. The first of all, you have to study about the first war of independence. So when you that means touch the first war of independence, you have to prepare only the causes. Now within the causes, what all causes you have to prepare? Political cause, social and religious cause, economic cause, and the military cause. These four causes only you have to prepare from the first war of independence. Okay, rest while going through the chapter events, you just go through it just to understand the continuity of the first war of independence, where it was held, when it started, who started it, all that for your continuity, for your understanding, you can go through it. But basically, you have to prepare political causes, social and religious causes, economic causes, and the military causes of the first war of independence. Rest, nothing is required. Only this, focus on this syllabus. Trust and focus. I did not make this syllabus with my view, my dear. This is the board syllabus. I have just separated it for your convenience. First semester syllabus I have separated it. Okay. Now second one, factors leading to the growth of nationalism. So this comes under chapter number 2, I hope, right? So within this, you have to study socio-religious reform movement. So this topic only you have to prepare, socio-religious reform movement, and within this topic you have to study about the contribution of Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Jyotiba Phule. Okay, these two reformers contribution you have to study in socio-religious reform movement and the role of press. This is the only three topics you have to prepare from chapter number 2, that is history, that is factors leading to the growth of nationalism. Okay, now next is there Indian National Congress. When was Indian National Congress formed? Okay, then immediate objectives of the Indian National Congress only you have to study. Okay, what were the objectives, immediate objectives of the Indian National Congress you have to prepare. Okay, and just for your general information, first two sessions and their presidents should be mentioned. Okay, where was the first session held, where was the second session of Indian National Congress held, and who were the president. Okay, as you know, the first president was W.C. Banerjee. Okay, the second one you have to go through it. Okay, so next one you can see here, after completing that portion, within the same unit you have to prepare first phase of the Indian national movement. Okay, which starts from 1885 to 1907. This is the era of moderates, okay, and extremists. Okay, you can see here, within this you have to study the objectives of the early nationalists, methods and struggle of the early nationalists, that is moderates. What were the objectives of the moderates, what were the methods of the moderates, okay, what methods they followed in order to achieve their objective, that you have to study. And then number 2, any two contributions of Dadabhai Naoroji, Surendranath Banerjee and Gopal Krishna Gokhale you have to study. Okay, only two contributions you have to prepare. Okay, then comes next phase, second phase definitely is of the extremists and all, right? So from here also we have to study about, we have to discuss briefly about the causes of the partition of Bengal. Okay, then the objectives of the radicals, what were the objectives of the radicals, then what method they followed in order to achieve their objectives, that you have to study. So don't get confused, radicals, aggressive nationalists and the extremists are the same. Okay, and again like moderates, two contribution of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal and Lala Lajpat Rai you have to prepare. And the third one, okay, then the last one from the first unit of history, you have to study about Muslim League, Okay, here we don't have to study about the causes, events, when was Muslim League formed, and the objectives of the Muslim League. Okay, if you want to go through it for a general information, you can go through the causes of the formation of Muslim League, who formed the Muslim League. Okay, and then the 3 or 4 objectives of Muslim League we have to go through. A very small Lucknow Pact, then Lucknow Pact and all these things are not at all required. Okay, then if you come down to the second unit and the last unit of history for the first semester 2021, you have to study about Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so when we study about Mahatma Gandhi, we'll discuss about non-cooperation movement. So within the non-cooperation movement, you have to study the causes of the non-cooperation movement. So what led to the non-cooperation movement? So you can see here causes. Khilafat movement is there, Rowlatt Act is there, the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy is there. The 3 causes are there that we have to discuss in detail. Okay, and what were the programs of the non-cooperation movement we have to study, and the suspension, mostly focusing on Chowri Chowra incident. Okay, Chowri Chowra incident led to the suspension of non-cooperation movement, and at last the impact of the non-cooperation movement we have to study. So just make it sure that this is not a big deal, it's not a very complicated chapter, so one by one you can go through it. Okay, so from non-cooperation movement, the causes, program, suspension, and the impact you have to study. Okay, now next one, within this same unit, civil disobedience movement you have to study. So here also causes, what were the causes of civil disobedience movement? So definitely we'll discuss about the reaction of Simon Commission, declaration of Purna Swaraj at Lahore session of 1929. Okay, Simon Commission, Lahore session, okay, Dandi March, program of the civil disobedience movement, and the impact of the civil disobedience movement. And then Gandhi Irwin Pact we have to study, because it was Gandhi Irwin Pact which led Mahatma Gandhi to withdraw the second round table conference, and he became, or he accepted to join the second round table conference. Okay, and second round table conference you have to study. This conference is also very important, because Gandhiji went there to attend the conference. And the third one you can see here, Quit India movement. So within the chapter Quit India movement, you have to study the causes. What were the causes of Quit India movement? So within the causes, first cause is failure of Cripps mission, Japanese threat. Many more are there, but you have to prepare only these 2. Okay, and the last one you can see here, Quit India resolution. When was Quit India resolution taken, and the significant, means importance of the Quit India movement, you have to go through it. Okay, then second last, forward block, INA, Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, what were the objectives of Indian National Army or Subhash Chandra Bose? Then you have to objectives of forward block. Okay, what were the, because Subhash Chandra Bose separated himself from the Congress and he formed a separate party known as forward block. So what were the objectives of forward block, you have to study. Then INA, how INA was formed, what were the objectives, and the contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, and the last one is independence and the partition of India. So when we study this chapter, when we'll discuss or prepare this chapter, from here only 2 things. Number 1 is Mountbatten Plan. Why was Mountbatten sent to India? What were the clauses of the plan, and why did Congress accept the Mountbatten Plan? Okay, and the Indian Independence Act of 1947, only the clauses you have to prepare. Okay, so hope you all have understood the syllabus. So let me remind you once again, this is completely a syllabus only for the students preparing for the first semester. So only 2 months are left, so please follow this syllabus properly. I'll make a PDF of this. I'll upload this syllabus in the description box. From there you can download it, and you can go through it one by one. Okay, my dear students, you might have understood the syllabus for your first semester. So without confusion, you start preparing for your first semester exam, and while preparing, if you come across any of the doubts, please feel free to ask your queries. I'll be available for you all the time. Thank you for watching this video. Take care, stay safe, bye bye.